Imagine feeling unsafe in your own home. Imagine being in a relationship and feeling trapped. You need to find a way to leave or get out of it, but you're afraid of the outcome if you do. Nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States. Over time, this ends up to be over 10 million people in a year. Therefore, I want to convince you to donate to a woman's place in order to help the women and men who are not able to stay home due to feeling unsafe or scared to be there. People who suffer from domestic violence often feel like they have no way of escaping or getting away, and a woman's place offers a safe way for people to get shelter or seek help in secret. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience severe intimate partner physical violence, intimate partner contact, sexual violence, and/or intimate partner stalking with impacts such as injury, fearfulness, post-traumatic stress disorder, use of victim services, contraction of sexually transmitted diseases, and more. And on a typical day, more than 20,000 phone calls are made to domestic violence hotlines. Just by donating any amount, you could be helping towards a cause that needs more attention. You could be the reason someone is able to get out of their abusive relationship and start a new and safer life. Many women share their stories about how they were saved and got out of their relationships. A woman named Catherine shared her story on Domestic Violence Resource Center Victoria.org and how the center helped her get safe and cope. She states, "I lived in a violent marriage for years. I was very naive at first and really didn't know people like him existed. He would kick me, slap me, push me, trip me over, throw things at me, stand on my feet, yell abuse, call me names like social cripple, the list goes on, but he never punched me. And the Domestic Violence Center women have helped me so much. The support and understanding and sharing of experiences, counseling, and I have done some violence recovery and self-confidence courses." Many people don't realize the reality of domestic abuse and how many women or men are affected and seriously have their lives at stake. National Coalition states 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men in the United States have been raped in their lifetime, and intimate partner violence accounts for 15% of all violent crime. Imagine what it would be like if someone close to you, or perhaps yourself, had to go through this fear and ongoing harm. It happens more than anyone knows, and more action needs to be taken, and that can begin by donating. Donating can be taken to many different forms, and fortunately, a woman's place has another source to bring income for these people in need. A women's place does more than just accept money. They have a thrift store in Doylestown which sells both men's and women's upscale clothing, and according to womensplace.org, 100% of your donations and purchases support the clients and programs of a women's place. They accept clothing, handbags, jewelry, accessories, new underwear and socks, toys, small furniture, and more. I have bought from this thrift store several times, and every time I do, I never feel any shame in spending money since it all goes towards such a great cause. The employees are always so sweet and helpful, and they always have a great selection of items. Another plus is that it's in town and near all the great food places and shops. They run a great business all for the people affected. Any amount helps. A little can go a long way. Along with money and clothing, a woman's place also accepts phones, tablets, chargers, iPods, and MP3 players. Instead of throwing them away, think about giving them to people who could really use them but just can't afford it themselves. Little things like this can make someone's day. Along with what a woman's place does, it's important to know the facts and reality of abuse. Domestic violence abuse, shortened for DVA, can be physical, sexual, psychological, pushed by a partner, an ex, or even a family member. Women and men who experience domestic violence abuse have increased risk of depression and stress and even suicidality. According to CRS Adult Health Advisor, abuse can happen to anyone. It happens to women and to men. It happens to all social classes and to people who speak all languages. It happens regardless of sexual orientation or religion. Poverty and substances also increase the risk. Abuse often follows a pattern that has 3 phases. The first phase is where the abuser gets tense. When any subject, this can mean money, house, work, or more, can make them mad. Verbal abuse and sometimes shoving begins. Phase 2 is when the victim tries to defend themselves and then the abuser gets more physical and possibly says things like, "This violence is to help you learn your lesson." In phase 3, the abuser begins to apologize and the victim may begin to believe they can change and that possibly the relationship can be saved. It's not a shock that domestic violence is a silent epidemic in this country. This is why healthcare providers now constantly ask patients if they are being hurt or threatened in any way. According to DVRCV, eliminating domestic violence requires a strong criminal justice response to the violence. However, it also requires a range of interventions that may differ from traditional approach to crime and prosecution. For example, where domestic violence is concerned, it can be difficult for its victims to leave the relationship or charge the offender, as such interventions have the potential to cause an escalation in the violence. I'm hoping that after hearing these scary statistics and stories that you've been moved and possibly considering donating or even shopping at their thrift store in full swing. Imagine what your extra $5 could do for a woman, man, or even family in need of help and safety. Please take the time to visit awomensplace.org and find out more about their mission and the community they support. In conclusion, donate to A Woman's Place to make a difference and possibly save someone's life.